Right now in the UK, it's very difficult getting jobs. A lot of people are struggling, especially getting jobs with sponsorship. Both people that have had years of experience working and people that have upskilled, getting new skills and everything is just so difficult right now. A lot of people have put in thousands of applications, but it's still not working. So what could be the reason? And is there something people are not doing right? What could be the remedy? We're going to be talking about this very important topic in today's video. So please stay tuned. And I'm not going to be doing this alone. I've got somebody here who will be sharing this together. Okay, so every migrant needs to watch this video. We also have something good to share with you as well. So you have to stay tuned to the end so that you can get it. Right, my guest is going to introduce herself right now and then we can get started. My name is Tochi, for those who don't know me.
Thank you, Tochi. And thank you for having me in your session today. My name is Ifunanya Okafor. I am the Innovation and Growth Lead at CV Matchly AI. So basically, CV Matchly AI is an AI powerful tool that helps UK job seekers secure interview invites through extreme CV optimization and keyword match.
Okay, welcome, Ifnaya. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, and I know that this topic is one that will benefit so many people because right now it's so difficult. Okay, so what could be the reason, Ifnaya? Why are so many qualified migrants struggling to get jobs right now?
Well, I would say many migrants are struggling to get jobs, not because they are not qualified enough. So there are many migrants that are qualified, but the UK employers they often prioritize local experience. But let's say the migrants are now applying for jobs. The competition is now very high and the sponsorship opportunities are not as open. They are quite limited at the moment now. So I would say that as a result of this, a lot of people need to stand out more. So people are really not getting jobs because they're not positioning themselves in the right way for what the employers are actually looking for.
Yeah, I think the UK job market is more experience based. But the annoying thing now is there are people who have had years of practical experience, hands-on experience working back home. But coming here, unfortunately, it just seems like you have to start afresh. And for those who now want to transition into new careers, it seems like it's even more difficult because at that point, you don't even have any experience at all. Or even though you're very good at what you do, even though like you know your onions, but then because you don't have that local experience, that UK experience is very difficult. And another shocking thing is, even with the degrees, because sometimes you feel like, oh, let me come and do my master's, let me come and take up courses here. They really don't look at that, the way they consider experience. So it's just quite shocking for a lot of people. Now, it's one of the culture shocks that you get to experience as a migrant in the UK. But like she said, it is what it is, but you just have to know how to position yourself and what they are looking out for just to stand a chance, right? So another thing we're going to be looking at now is the mistakes people make when applying for jobs. Okay, what would you say from your experience are the biggest mistakes that job seekers make when looking for jobs in the UK?
I will say that the basic mistake that job seekers make, there are different mistakes, but the most common one is job seekers applying with a generic CV. So you're applying for a job and you're using one CV fits all for all the applications. So let's give this as an instance. You are a data analyst, for example, and you have experience in maybe the tech space or in the fintech space, and you want to apply for a job and you're looking at applying for a job in the NHS. So here is now the healthcare space, right? The keywords that the healthcare data analyst is going to see is different from the keywords that you might have used in your job as a tech data analyst, right? So a lot of UK job seekers or job seekers in general actually use one generic CV, so one CV to apply for a lot of jobs. And many people apply for hundreds of jobs without tailoring this CV to the particular job that they're actually looking for at that point, or the actual job that they're applying to at that point in time. So what it does is, what then happens is the ATS system comes into play and flags missing keywords that are not on your CV.
Okay. So can you explain this ATS system for some people that might just be hearing it for the first time?
Okay, yes. So the ATS is an applicant tracking system. I would say it's an AI, but yeah, it's basically an AI. It's a software. A lot of employers use this ATS software or system to make the process more easier. So let's see the flowchart this way. An applicant applies for a job, right? And you're expecting that a recruiter is going to see your CV, your application, and then leads you to the next step. But now the recruiter or the employers now use a middleman, which is the ATS. And they program the ATS in such a way that they wouldn't want to go through a lot of CVs, because you put up a job on the job board, and for a role that requires maybe two people or maybe one person, there is over 1,000 applications. Now, what the ATS does is filter through these applications and pick the best for the recruiter to then see and provide them with next step. So the ATS system basically is what is the middleman between the job seeker and the recruiter. So if you are looking for a particular job, the ATS already has certain keywords that they are looking to see on your CV before it moves you to that next level of the recruiter.
That makes sense, because you could even sense that for one job advert that they put out there, you could see so many people applying. So I don't think one person would have the time to go through thousands or with hundreds of applications. So I think that actually makes sense for them. Recently, I was discussing with somebody who said that when they wanted to go into the NHS system, it was very easy for them to get a job. But then somehow they now got a job somewhere else, and they had to just leave. They didn't take up the NHS one that they got. And it was very easy to get, but because the pay for a private sector was better, she left it and moved to that other job. And right now they're trying to go back into the NHS, but it's now difficult. And she's like, what am I doing? What didn't I do right? Because the first time I applied, I got it without any hassle, just immediately. And right now it's getting more difficult. I can't even get an interview or anything. I'll say it's not because you are doing anything wrong or because you're not qualified enough, but it's just because right now it's a bit more difficult. So whatever you did 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you might need to up your game. You might need to understand the system now and do better. Just you need to just position yourself in a way that you will stand a chance, because everything have changed, right? And that's why I had to bring Ifnaya, because she has something she wants to introduce to us. When she shared this with me, I was like, wow, we need to share it to my audience, because everybody needs this. It just makes your application easier. And we have so many testimonies of people that have used it and were able to secure a job, the job of their choice. Okay. So how do people know they're even applying for the right jobs in the first place?
Here is the big challenge. This is one of the biggest challenges that we have experienced with a lot of applications that we've received from CV Matchly AI. So when job seekers apply to applications, it's most times random. So they see a job advert and they apply for the job with their CV, not knowing how well their CV will match that actual job that they're applying to, right? So they would not know per se that they're applying to a wrong job until maybe when they get a response from the employer that they're not a good match, or they had to move to other more qualified candidates. So here is where CV Matchly then comes into play.
So you just mentioned CV Matchly now. Can you tell us how? Because you mentioned that it's an AI tool that helps match job seekers with the best employers. That basically makes it easier for people to make sure they're applying for the right jobs, have the right CV, and stand a chance for getting the jobs, right? Can you please show us how this works? Because I've seen it, but I also want people to see it and see that it actually works. Okay, is there a way you can show us this?
Yes, I can show you. So I can basically show how CV Matchly works, how it helps to improve job seekers' ATS score and also match them with keywords that the employers for that actual role that they're applying to is looking for. So to do this, I would be doing a demo of CV Matchly, and basically to show you how CV Matchly works. First, this is the CV Matchly AI dashboard. But before you use CV Matchly AI, you would need to sign up and install the CV Matchly Chrome extension onto your browser. So you will need to go to the Google Chrome store, extension store, and install CV Matchly. Once CV Matchly is installed on your browser, you can pin it so that you apply it for any job board that you're looking for. First thing that you need to note is the CV Matchly AI Chrome extension works on all job boards. But for the course of this demo, I would be using the NHS job board to demonstrate how CV Matchly AI helps. So first, on the NHS job board, you need to apply for a job or search for the job title you're looking for. So let's use data analyst, for instance. So let's say we're looking for a business analyst role or a data analyst role, and you go on to search for that role. You just let's pick this first role here, and when it comes up, you see that if you have the CV Matchly Chrome extension pinned on your browser, it detects that you're on a job board. First thing you need to do is to upload your CV. And to do this, we go to our media and we pick a CV. So let's say we're using this CV, for instance, right? And when you do that, the CV Matchly Chrome extension automatically extracts the job description and it runs analysis for that job that you're applying to. However, if you're using other job boards, you can actually copy the job description and paste it here on the Chrome extension. And in less than 10 seconds, you get your job analysis. For this role, my CV has given me a score of 54%. And why is it 54%? Why is this score low? You see that there are some keywords that are matched on my CV, but there are still some keywords missing. So for this role, I have 11 keywords matched and 15 keywords missing. What are these keywords matched? What are these keywords missing? So these are the keywords that are matched, and these are the keywords that are missing on the CV that I have uploaded to be analyzed. In addition,
that's so interesting.
Yes. Aside optimization, there is something else that CV Matchly does that is very fantastic, which is the sponsorship analysis. So with the sponsorship analysis, UK job seekers get to see if this job that they're applying to, if that employer is licensed to sponsor their visas. So instead of going to the Home Office and seeing the list of over 100 licensed employer, you can actually see the employer that you're applying to and see if this employer can actually sponsor your visa. What this does in essence is it stops guesswork. It actually helps you with speed. You don't apply blindly. So instead of applying to a random job, not knowing whether that employer is able to sponsor your visa or not, you can actually see in one view that this employer can sponsor your visas. You can also see the sponsorship route. You can also see the salary threshold for that role. So for this actual role, the salary threshold is above threshold. So you can go on to optimize your CV in line with that job description. To do this, you just need to click on Optimize CV and it shows you some suggestions. You can then decide which format you want to use. So on CV Matchly AI, you're able to download in the PDF format or in the Word format. So let's go ahead and download with the PDF format. Then we'll go ahead to generate CV. For the CV generation or the CV optimization, it doesn't take so much time. It takes basically 40 seconds or less than 40 seconds. So if you add the job analysis plus the job optimization or the CV optimization rather, you get a total of less than 60 seconds to have your CV optimized for an actual role that you're applying for. We also know that a lot of people are working with time. So if you're an aggressive job seeker or a moderate job seeker and you spend maybe 1 hour to 2 hours every day applying for a job, you can then save a lot of time. In the space of 1 hour, you are able to apply to 7 to 10 jobs in the space of 1 hour with CV Matchly AI, instead of going through the manual route of applying, doing copy and paste or fixing these keywords. You can actually get everything in one go on CV Matchly AI.
That's so amazing, honestly. Like, this makes it so easy.
Yes, it does. And that's the reason why we have built CV Matchly. Not only to help job seekers get interview, but also with speed. They are able to do this fast because we know that time wasted means someone else is already applying for the opportunity and may likely have an upper hand against you that is applying for that job. So now that the CV has been fully optimized, we can then go ahead to download the optimized CV. Once the CV is optimized, you get this optimized CV on your memory, that's on your PC memory, and you can then go ahead to apply for the job that you're looking for. So let's go back to the dashboard and let me show you a few things. So for the job that we have just applied to, we can see that on the job tracker. With the job tracker, job applicants are able to see the jobs that they have optimized, see the jobs that they have applied to. There is a checklist where you can actually create status for different roles that you have applied for. So this is the last role that we optimized for. And if you apply for this job and you get an interview, you can actually create a status and move to interview. You can also move to offer depending on the option that you have for that role that you have applied to. Aside this, on the dashboard, you can also choose to generate supporting documents. So for NHS applications, we know that your CV is not required. There are certain information that is required of you as an NHS job seeker. So you would need your supporting statement. With CV Matchly, you can generate supporting statement for that role that you're applying for. You can also get cover letter if you're applying for any other job. So it could be on the NHS job board, via LinkedIn, Indeed, Read.com, Glassdoor, and you need a cover letter for that role. You can always generate cover letter on the CV Matchly dashboard. So let's say you apply for multiple roles and you're using different CVs, because we don't advise you use generic CV for all the applications. Now you're using different CV and you need to be up to date with the CV that you use to apply for a job. You can also always go back to the dashboard and download the CV that you use to apply for that job to keep you updated with what you want to do, or if questions comes up in your interview session. So let's say I applied for this job, I move it to apply. And if for this role I get an interview, I move to interview. So what this does is help you track your applications in one view. You don't need to go over or create an Excel sheet or a Notion tracker. CV Matchly AI would help you to track the jobs that you have applied for.
Okay. So how can one get started? How can someone get CV Matchly?
Okay, so with CV Matchly AI, it's a Chrome extension. So what this means is available to users on their desktop. So are you using a desktop or a PC? You would have availability on your PC. You will need to install the Chrome extension onto your browser. You can register for CV Matchly on the Chrome extension, or you register with our website, which would be added to the description.
Okay. So once I go to Chrome and just type CV Matchly, I'll see it.
Yes. So once you go to Chrome and you type cvmatchly.ai or CV Matchly, you would see a link to the Chrome extension. You would also see a link to our website.
Okay, that makes sense. I recommend this for everybody trying to get a job. You're out of job, you want to go back in, you're new and just want to start afresh and start applying for jobs, or you're ready to go back to work, because I know that some people have been out of work for a while, maybe your maternity leave, or you were just taking a break due to childcare and now you're ready. I recommend CV Matchly to everyone trying to get a job, whether you want sponsorship or not.
And also to add, we don't stop at just you optimizing your CV and also getting job analysis. We provide priority support, especially to our premium users. With our premium plan, you are able to book interview prep. So you applied for a job and you got an interview. You can speak to a career expert to guide you on what to expect for the interview based on the role that you're applying for. You can also get a call with an employability expert to help with LinkedIn optimization and CV optimization. So like a one-on-one CV revamp. So we don't just stop at this. We also help with support for the premium plan.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, right? That was really helpful. Like I said, please, everybody just needs to get this tool. It will help. It's very, very helpful. Okay. I know people that have used it to get jobs, and all I can say is that you just need to try it. It's worth the try. Now, something just came to mind now, if you're saying CV Matchly is an AI tool, and we're also trying to say, oh, employers don't want AI, so how are you saying we can use AI to apply for jobs and not get it flagged, or still stand a chance of getting the job?
Okay, yes, I know how tricky that can be. So a lot of employers will tell you that when you're applying, do not use AI, that they have their AI system that can help detect if you're using AI, right? So CV Matchly would help tailor your CV in such a way that it's personalized, because it is using your previous CV, your previous experience to optimize your CV against the role. But if you want to fight AI, it's best to fight AI with AI. So CV Matchly would help to break out all the barriers that you're going to face and still land you the interviews that you're looking for. So the goal now is to fight AI with AI.
I like that. Now, what would you advise for people trying to apply for jobs now? Because I know that people are getting jobs. Yes, it's difficult. We're not saying it's impossible. We're only explaining the fact that it's actually difficult, but it's possible. People are still getting jobs. Okay, now, what do you think those people are doing differently? What do you think are the strategies they are using? Or for people that want to start now, what's the best strategy that they can use?
Okay, yes, that's true. People are actually getting jobs, and not just jobs, you're getting sponsored jobs. So what I would say is, first, the number one thing you should do as your strategy, plan one, you need to optimize your CV for the UK job market. You're applying for jobs in the UK, optimize your CV to the UK job market. Ensure your CV matches the UK market language. Secondly, you need to focus on the role that you're applying to. Does your experience align strongly with this role? Even if you're transitioning, you have to leverage the experience